Hello, and welcome back to the On the DL podcast. I'm Lizeth,
And I'm Daniella.
and this is episode 8. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. We hope you enjoyed last week's episode. If you haven't watched it, it was an advice segment with one of our very lucky friends and friends that we adore so much. Go check that one out after this episode. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in this week. As you can tell,
We're in a very special location. I mean, I feel like we're in a special location every fucking episode.
yeah, but we always like to keep it fresh and new. And honestly, like being here right now, Dan, like how do you feel? How do you feel that we are on the grounds of your alma mater?
You know what? It feels a little bit comforting. I won't even lie. Like, I love being on campus. I don't know, just being in this freaking room. I mean, I've taken like multiple classes in this room, and it feels like, I don't know, it just feels really comforting.
You feel good? You feel nostalgic?
Yeah, a little bit.
I, on the other hand, feel very nervous and anxious because, yeah, like I feel
Whoa.
on the complete opposite spectrum as you because it's the fact that technically, or actually, I don't know, is it considered trespassing?
No, dude. We're
Okay.
alumni.
Okay, yeah, we have alumni rights, but at the same time, like obviously, like not being a student here anymore and like being here past certain like hours, I have always been such a stickler. I've always been such a fucking rule follower, and that's like something that I want to shake off. But obviously, like it's just something that's always been ingrained in me. So in my head, I'm like, oh my god, somebody's gonna come in at any minute.
I mean, I definitely feel that because, like, I feel like a janitor could come in, or like a TA could come in and like tell us like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
But
but
at the same time, I'm like, I don't know.
yeah.
I really like this room.
Yeah, this is a really great room, and it's honestly so suiting for today's episode. It's gonna be kind of like an overview of our college experience-ish. Obviously, there's so many different topics that we can get into regarding this because it was such a big part of our lives. And today, we're actually just gonna go into kind of an overview of our time here with our majors as well as like extracurriculars and kind of like a little bit of college life, how it went for us because we both did have very different experiences, and I feel like that would be fun to like talk about today.
Yeah, last week someone asked us in our Q&A or like our advice episode what our majors were, and like we just briefly gave a sentence or two. But this is just going to be like the full-on answer to that question basically.
Yeah, we're just like diving right in. So yeah, Dan, like if you want to start us off, just like let us know. Let us know. You feel so nostalgic and comforted to be here. So let us know what it is that this room, like what memories it brought back in terms of your college experience here at UCLA. Oh yeah, if you didn't know,
Oh,
we're
we're
repping
Bruins.
today.
We're
Yeah.
Bruins, you guys.
Yeah.
Well, let me make one thing clear. I did not start college very well. I had a very like tumultuous time. It was pretty rough for me. But I think as I got more used to like the schedule and like more used to academics and everything like that, it just got more easy, and like I was able to breeze through basically. But yeah, I started off as a neuroscience major actually. I came in as a neuro major, and I mean, if you know my major now, that is like completely different. I was a sociology major, but I started as a neuro major. My mom was kind of like, "What if you did neuro?" And I was like, "You know what? I loved the chemistry portion of the AP Psych exam. I'm gonna do neuro." Bad mistake. I feel like I just wasn't like passionate about it. I didn't really like it. I did take like chemistry classes and like calc classes, but I didn't really like it.
See, the crazy thing about majors like that is like you think you're gonna get one thing and then you get a complete opposite experience of it because what it is basically is like a bunch of classes that don't really relate to that topic to begin with. Like you usually start off with like math and like science and like,
I feel like that's pretty integral to the major though.
but I don't feel like it has to do with neuro because like,
It is though, because it's like chem.
right, but like not specifically until you get into like biochem or like other things like
That's
that.
true,
Do you get what
that's
I'm
true.
saying? Kind of like the weeder classes is what I'm referring
Okay,
to. So I
yeah.
feel like that also leads to like becoming very disillusioned with what your major is going to be.
Yeah, and already coming in, I was kind of like iffy about it because even during my orientation, I was like, I think I'm gonna do computer science. So I was like, maybe I'm gonna do computer science. I told that to like my orientation leader.
Ooh.
And he was like, that would be fun. And then I was like, wait, maybe I will do it.
Yeah.
So from this story, you'll be able to tell that I went through like, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different majors.
World record, baby.
World fucking record.
I also went through a bunch of majors, but we'll get into that one later.
So yeah, I was like, I'm gonna do computer science.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like I feel like the prereqs for neuro and computer science weren't that different. Like I could still take chem, I could still take like calculus and stuff and be fine. But the thing is that I wasn't doing well. Definitely some quarters I had like a 1.9 or something like that. It was really bad. I won't even lie to you. But compared to my like general ed classes, I was getting fucking A's.
Hell yeah.
So that brought my GPA up a little bit, but it was just really difficult for me. And on top of that, I was also a commuter, which kind of shaped my college experience. It was just like a financial decision for me. I mean, we live so close that it was, well, it's close, but like the thing is that like with traffic and like with the hill and like everything, it's like,
yeah, that's like the
it's
story
close,
of
but
LA.
it's not that close.
Yeah, like that's like the essence of LA, of living in LA County, where something could be literally 15 miles away but take you an hour and over to get to where you need to go.
Yeah, so I was basically driving to school every day. And also on top of that, I didn't have a license at first. So I was driving without a license.
No way. La licencia de Dios. That's all you fucking needed.
Probably
No
like,
way, I didn't know that.
dude, probably like the worst anxiety I've had like thus far. Just like driving without a license, especially in like LA traffic. Like,
Dude, yeah, that's like a fat ticket too. Like it's literally $1,000. Even if you have a license and you're caught like without it when you're driving, like you get pulled over, it's $1,000 ticket. That's insane.
dude, yeah. So I was driving without a license, but don't tell anybody.
Keep it between us.
And there was a moment there where like I was kind of like scratching my car against things and like not having the greatest experiences on the road. So like I actually started taking the bus.
What?
Yeah, dude, I started taking the bus.
What the fuck?
And like if you know me, like I always talk about how much I fucking love the bus.
Yeah.
Which I do. It's like you're not fucking driving, but you're still getting to your destination.
Yeah.
And you can like read and like text all the while.
Yeah, you're
like,
literally
commuting.
passenger princess.
Exactly. But obviously, like, it's not luxurious. It's not convenient at times.
Yeah.
It's also $1.75
Now?
now. Metro, what are you doing?
For real.
But, okay, yeah. So that basically shaped, like, my college experience, my social life, my academic life, my, like, job life. It shaped everything, honestly. And if you're asking, like, oh, what do you mean by that? I had nothing. I had no friends. I had no friends. My grades were at a fucking 0. And yeah, I don't know, like I was saving money, but it was kind of like a give and take situation.
Yeah, like college on its own is already really fucking hard as a first generation student, especially. Now on top of that, like being a commuter, not even being like in the like in a traditional college space, like that's just like levels on top of levels of like struggle, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I don't know, I was like barely passing my classes, and like it had gone to the point where I was like on academic probation, and like I had to sign a contract. I waved a few red flags in the admissions office, or at least my grades were waving a few red flags, and they're like, hey, you're gonna have to sign this contract because we want you out of here in 4 years.
Yeah.
And so I signed the contract, and I was like, okay, now I really have to figure out my major. Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So here's a journey, you guys. I went from neuro to comp sci, computer science, to psych, to cognitive science, which was probably one of the best one I had chosen out of all of them, because it was like a perfect mix of like psychology and like computer science. And like the classes that I was taking in that major, like the prereqs for it, were like, they're so good. I loved those classes.
Yeah, I enjoyed those classes too.
Yeah, and then I went to psychobio, and then I went to psych. But the thing about the psych major here is that it's like a really impacted major. So
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if you experience this, but like even trying to get into the classes in, like in a timely manner, which you need because you need to declare a major, is really hard. So basically, time got my ass, and like
Yeah, literally fuck Psych 108 and B.
dude, yeah. So yeah, I couldn't get the classes, and I had to go back to the guidance counselor. And she was like, okay, hey, you have 3 options. You have sociology, geography, or anthro. And honestly, like all of those majors are something that I would be interested in. But I ended up choosing sociology. And I would like to thank that guidance counselor because she was so kind to me. She didn't really even know me, but like she was just so generous and kind, and like even offered me advice that I needed at the time. She's so kind. I wish I like actually like got her contact and
Wow, like she had like a genuine impact on you.
yeah,
That's good.
I remember what she looks like and everything. I probably remember her office, but okay, so I chose sociology, and I feel like right after I chose soc, like everything kind of just fell into place because one, like I was no longer aimless. I had to like actually something to like work towards.
Yeah.
And 2, I actually enjoyed the major. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like people would say like, oh, that's an easy fucking major, but like I don't know, maybe for some people it's not. I mean, I think I can write a really good paper. I think I enjoy reading. I think I enjoy learning about like people and about relationships and about like dynamics, society as a whole.
Yeah. And I think it's a really important topic that even people that aren't in like the arts of UCLA, like they're in like more STEM focused like majors, I feel like it should be a requirement for them to take sociology courses, so that sometimes some of them like lack basic human empathy, and I feel like that would really bridge the gap between like a decent human being and like not.
Yeah, but yeah, the major was finally able to offer me like some stability, which I really fucking needed because I was in shambles for the first 2 years. So yeah, I literally went from getting like 2 Fs a quarter or like a D minus and like C pluses to getting straight A's. So I made it my mission to get like straight A's all 3 quarters my last year. Mission failed because I got a B.
Oh no.
I ended up getting a fucking B in
What class?
it was like social networks or something like that.
Social 111, I think. I think that's the one that's like the. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it was a really interesting class. I really liked it, but I ended up getting a B.
Fuck it.
But anyways, my fucking GPA shot up. And my minor also was environmental systems and society, which is probably the best minor ever because I got to have like a little STEM in my schedule. I also just really enjoyed it. I do remember some of the professors I had. That's how memorable it was for me because I mean, Liz, can you remember any of your professors?
I can actually.
Like a few, right? Like just a handful, but like compared to how many classes that we've taken, they're freaking forgettable, right?
Absolutely.
But like in that minor, like I really liked it, and so yeah, I loved those classes. But I think in general, I can say like I had a feeling that I just didn't really belong on this campus. I don't know, I just felt like I wasn't supposed to be here, and it definitely did stem from like prior things, like summer going into freshman year definitely like pruned me a lot. But I feel like those first 2 years just like were so hard that I was like, ugh, I hate it here. Like I feel like if people would ask me how UCLA was, and I would be like, I fucking hate it. Like it was just it just wasn't a good time for me.
And the thing is, like, people wouldn't understand that coming from an outside perspective without experiencing it themselves. They would be like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, it's one of the greatest schools in the world, but it's like, yeah, but you don't understand the rigor that it requires out of you, and it's such a different realm than anything you've probably like experienced before.
Definitely. And so like I feel like I literally went through college like regretting college. Like each day that went by, I was like, oh god,
Yeah.
But then it wasn't until like I said, like wasn't until like I declared my major and like actually was a little bit interested in what I was doing that I was like, okay, I have some stability. Like I got the hang of it. It's like, okay, let's go.
Was this your 4th year when you were finally declared, or your 3rd year?
It was my third year when all of this happened. So,
Okay.
like, yeah, it was my third year because we were here in person.
Okay.
Which I'm thankful for
That's good.
because it would have been even worse if it wasn't like that.
Right. It
And
gave
I
you more.
already, like, feel like if I started as a social major, like, I would have gotten so much more out of it.
Yeah.
I wish that I could say that there was, like, a major silver lining to, like, this horrible college story. But there are, like, little silver linings that I really appreciate. And, like, I did say, like, I had no friends, but then, like, third year it just started really looking up. I moved to campus with Liz, and, like, I met, like, some of my best friends. I started doing way more clubs than I did in, like, second year. I actually joined Hermanas with Liz. But the thing about Hermanas, like, no shade to the organization or anything, but I feel like once I joined, like, people already had their, like,
Yeah, that's the
click,
unfortunate
you know?
part of it. I felt similar too, but I feel like I really wanted to be part of it, so I like forced myself to like become part of like the board or whatever. But we'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was so happy when Dan joined. I was like, yes.
And I'm so happy about the people we met, the
Yeah.
people that I met through
Yeah,
that, like Andrea.
literally
like,
our
I really
roommates.
love her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our roommates too.
Yeah.
I actually also tried to join a sorority, and if you know me, like, that is not at all like
That's so out
who
of
I
character.
am. But like,
Yeah.
it definitely is a story to tell.
Right.
And at the end of it, I actually did want to be in a sorority.
Yeah.
I didn't get chosen, but at the end of it, I was like, damn, like, I really wanted to be in that sorority.
Damn.
And the short version of that story is that, like, I had friends at other schools that were joining sororities, and they were like, oh, you should just do it for fun. And so I was telling my boss about that because she knows my friends. And she was like, you know what, if you want to do it, like, I'll pay for your rush fees. And if you get in, like, I'll pay for your dues.
Holy shit. I forgot about that part.
I swear to God, my boss was like, I'll
Shout out
pay for your dues.
KD.
Dude, yeah, like, that's why I feel like I owe people so much, or, like, I just, like, really respect and, like, really hold people that, like, helped me out through college with so much
Like high regard.
esteem.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was fucking struggling, and, like, things like that, something so little as, like, paying for my rush fees, like, that's so kind.
Yeah.
And so I went through the whole rush process, spent a whole week. I couldn't go to work because I was rushing. And she was like, okay, fine, just do it.
Oh, wow.
And it was fun. It was a little bit weird and, like, degrading at times because you're literally going through every fucking house trying to make small talk with these girls.
You're like begging, pick me, choose me, please. Like, I want to be part of this.
That was pretty fun. I love telling that story because, like, people are like, what the heck? Like, you're not...
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I forget
And at
about
times
this
I'm
story.
like, damn, I fucking wish I made it in so I could just, like...
Like, know the
just-
ends of it.
Yeah, and just, like, have stories to tell about the freaking people and, like, the
Yeah.
freaking systems and stuff. But at the end of the day, the only reason why I wanted to be in a sorority was because of the philanthropy that they were doing. In terms of other clubs that I did Unravel, which is, like, this really cool sustainable club. At the time, it was just starting out. It's a sustainable fashion club. And at the time, I think they were on their, like, first or second year. But, like, now they're, like, teaching people how to use sewing machines and stuff like that. But now they're teaching people how to use sewing machines. But at the time, like, we would do, like, clothing swaps and, like, how to what is it called? Like, when you just, like, DIY your clothes and, like, re-up them. There's a word for that.
Recycle. Upcycle.
Upcycle your clothes,
Yeah.
Yeah. That one I was really involved in. And then, like, my third year, I joined a, like, vegan club. But tell me why I had the best memories in that club, because it was, like, so much fun.
Because it was your people. You were
The
with
people
your
there were
people.
so weird, just like me. And, like, I wish I got their freaking contacts, but I freaking didn't.
Damn.
And then, yeah, that was so much fun. But then COVID happened, and, like,
Fuck COVID.
yeah,
Literally
that
fuck
will be
COVID.
another episode about how much we fucking hate COVID.
Yeah, dude. COVID ruined so much for us. It's insane.
I don't think I really did much else.
Senior year.
Yeah, definitely not senior year. I mean,
No.
senior year is fucking at home
Right.
the whole time.
Rotting in our fucking caves. That was fucking awful.
Yeah, and I think my closing statements are just like, I used to always say I was like the poster child of, like, what not to do in college. Because I failed social life, failed career life, failed academic life, Do not follow my footsteps, you guys. Please, just spend the extra money to not commute, to live on campus.
Yeah, fucking live with your friends your first year, please. Dude, you have no idea how bad I want to dance with my fucking roommate. Like, ugh. But I understand. I understand.
Yeah, and so, like, I feel like throughout college, I was, like, thinking, like I said, I was just, like, living with so much regret, even though I was literally still in college. But the thing is that, like, after college, once it was completed, like, I felt like I had just accepted it, and I was like, okay, it was what it was. Like, I can accept it, right?
You got, I feel like, still experiences out of college, and that's all that you really could ask for, I think, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like, I did feel pretty fulfilled with my major and, like, my minor, and, like, I had accepted it, and, like, I had spoke about it with, like, it's good. I'm good with it. Like, I don't have to live in fucking regret.
Oh my gosh, that's funny that you say that because I feel like I just got to the point. We graduated like maybe 3 years ago now. We're coming up on 3 years.
3 years.
And I think I just now got to the point of not living in regret because I realized, like, Liz, get the fuck over it. Like, you did what you did. Like, you have to accept that those were the decisions that you made at the time and it didn't work out. So now, like, just move on because at the end of the day, like, you really can't do anything to change the past other than maybe learn from it and, like, teach others to not do what the fuck you did.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, kind of in a similar sense, I also went through the same things that Dan did. Like, I had maybe 5 different majors. Like, we were not too far off. I came into UCLA as an environmental science major because I was always really passionate about that topic, like, in high school. It was one of my favorite courses that I took, like, AP Environmental Science, like, definitely had such an impact on me. But the thing is, like, at the time of application season or whatever, like...
Wait, let me just have a little quick tidbit because the craziest thing is that AP class had, like, the highest rates of... No, had the highest rates of people sleeping in that class. Like, everyone would fall asleep in that class. Do you remember that, Lise?
No, dude, I sat in the front and, like...
Dude, our teacher was, like, notorious for putting people to sleep.
I know. I can see why. But yeah, so I really enjoyed that class. So I figured, okay, like, that's what I want to study. Actually, before landing on that, when I really wanted to, like, go all in, I was considering engineering for whatever reason, like civil engineering, because I felt like that had most to do with environmental in a sense. But knowing what I know now, I understand why the person who told me not to do that told me not to apply as a civil engineering major. Basically, they said, like, don't do it. Like, it's too hard. Like, they're not going to accept you as that. Like, just don't do it. Like, apply to something easy. And so I was scared because I guess I wanted to get in, and I was like, okay, I'll do something else. And I chose environmental science, which in hindsight, I would have loved to know if maybe I would have gotten in as a civil engineering major, given that I am a girl. And I feel like that
I also got
helps.
in as a fucking neuroscience major.
Yeah, who knows, you know? Like, that's a really intense major, so who knows if I would have gotten in. Maybe I would have, and maybe that could have gone a whole different way, you know, like the butterfly effect, like every decision that you make, like, impacts every other decision. So point is, I ended up coming here as an environmental science major. I was enrolled in, like, the intro to environmental science class, but for whatever reason, it wasn't an environmental science class. It was really more so like a geology class, which I did not fuck with. Like, I didn't enjoy learning about minerals and, like, rocks and stuff like that. I expected it to be more like AP environmental science topics. And off the bat, I remember that the professor that was teaching that class, like, he was one of, like, the head professors in the department, and he told us, like, you know, the environmental science program here, like, it's not fully developed to where we want it to be, but as the years go by, like, we definitely are, like, working on it. So if you guys want to, like, stick around type thing, then maybe it'll get better. But basically, like, it was a really underdeveloped program, and that was really discouraging. And at the same time, I was taking, like, I was taking, like, calculus, like the first calculus, Calc 1, that they offer here. And because that was, like, a prereq for environmental science. And funny enough, I took that class in this lecture room that we're in right now, which is really funny. I always would sit up in front with some girls that I met. They were so nice, and I felt so happy to, like, have, like, friends in math. and the professor, like, I love that guy so much. Like, he was a gem. The way that he taught just like inspired you and made you feel like you were actually so capable of just like being good at math, and that's like not something I had felt
Aw.
before. And gave me rose-colored glasses, because that led me to then, you know, having been discouraged from environmental science and reconsidering, you know, careers too, because when I looked into what kind of careers you can get from an environmental science major, it was like research and I don't know, like stuff like that, you know, and not really things that I was, or being a professor, I don't know, it
The
didn't
thing
really
is
interest
now
me.
is that there's like a pipeline that you go from like an environmental science major to like working for like Exxon.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, dude, to working for a fucking oil company.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oil rig brand trip.
Yeah.
Wait, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
There's definitely a pipeline.
I want to look into
And
that.
I think there's also a communications major pipeline.
To
working-
oil rig? I wonder what that is.
They fucking need PR, dude.
Exxon Mobil
Chevron.
needs, oh, Chevron needs PR?
Like they need people to like lie to.
Oh, got it. Yeah, they need to market themselves in a positive way and make sure that people don't know the truth about big oil or whatever.
I mean, we know the truth.
Yeah, we know, it's pretty fucking evident.
Obvious.
Yeah. So yeah, this man, like, he inspired me, and obviously one thing I had always told myself, I think going into college, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do, but I knew that what I wanted was to get a job that was well paying after college. And I guess it didn't really matter to me like what it was. So when I was considering math, I was like, what careers can you get from a math major, like math degree, like and I came across this subject called like actuarial science, which has to do with like statistical models and like risk analysis type thing for, let's say, for an actuary who works for like an insurance company. They'll calculate like how much premium or rate they need to charge in order to make sure that if a loss were to occur, like they're not like losing money for the insurance company, whatever, things like that. So I looked into that, and whoa, if you look at what an actuary makes, that to me was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I literally was like, that's exactly what I want to do.
How much do they make?
Oh my God, like 400K. But that's like once you have passed like all these exams that you need to get. So they have like a whole series of like maybe 10 different exams, but they're really intense. It's basically like 100 study hours per hour of exam, and an exam is like 3 hours. So you have to study a minimum of 300 hours to be able to successfully like pass that exam.
How many actuaries do you think are on the planet?
Oh, dude, not that many. It's crazy, I feel like, you know? And so obviously, like, at the time, like, I got so inspired. I ended up joining the Bruin Actuarial Society. I went to, like, a conference at Santa Barbara for, like, actuaries. Basically just, like, did everything that I could to get ready for that. But at the same time, as the quarters went on, econ was required for math. Physics was required for math, and those classes to me were so fucking hard. I had never taken them.
Fucking physics, dude.
Dude, fuck physics. I swear, like, it's embarrassing that I failed it twice. On the third one, I don't think I cheated on the fucking final, and I passed. It's like I got to that point where I was, like, so desperate to wanting, you know, like, I did things that were beyond like my morals at the time, but like I really don't give a fuck. If you knew how many people cheat on this campus, like it's insane. If you go to like any like biology like intro course, like life science 7A, like chem, there's so many people that cheat. It's sad. But point is, I ended up doing that, and obviously like my mind was set on like also studying for these exams while doing my my lower divs, and it was really fucking hard. Like, I couldn't do it. It was way too fucking hard. I started getting like non-passing grades, and what ended up happening is like I couldn't declare my math major because I didn't have the GPA in the relevant coursework in order to do it. So then I had all these prereqs like math, chemistry, physics, like stuff like that. I ended up switching then from actuarial science to I think just regular math, and then from there to cognitive science because I had the prereqs. That one I really enjoyed. I ended up doing like coding and stuff like that. But then back to that class we mentioned earlier, Psych 100B. I passed Psych 100A. That one was fine. Psych 100B, however, I took it summer session A and I got a C minus, and you can't get a C minus in that class. Also, fuck my group members because I think they're the reason why I got a C minus. Dude, it's because during that time was like when COVID had just hit, and so everything had gone online, and we had a group project to do over Zoom. And obviously at this time, like I ended up starting working like 40 hours basically a week at my job here on campus. So I was focused on the wrong things, and I ended up basically like not doing well on that class. I had to retake it, but then I couldn't get into that class summer session C. And by the end of that summer is when you had to be absolutely declared, and I didn't make it on time. So I entered my 4th year, lost as hell, still having no major declared. I think I declared it probably like the beginning of fall that semester, that quarter. And same thing as you, I went to a counselor and they told me you have these options based on the prereqs you've already taken. You can do sociology, gender studies, or history, or something like that, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I'll do sociology because psychology was one of the topics that I really enjoyed in high school. So I felt like that was the most relevant. And like you said, like I also love like learning about people and how we interact and like how our society like came to be and like the theories behind it and everything like that. So that was the most relevant. Unfortunately, because I really wanted to be done by the 4th year, I didn't want to take a 5th year. I ended up taking four classes every single quarter for that last year. And I feel like I didn't get out of sociology what I could have gotten out of it. Like, I feel like I was just like doing my work just to finish it, but not really like taking in the information as much as I would like, you know? That's why I always felt so regretful of everything, because I feel like I never got to feel satisfied with my major or the things that I studied, because everything was always like holding on for dear life or like rushing to get to the, to get to the finish line. And yeah, I ended up graduating with a degree in sociology. So that's what I always say. Like, it's not that I really chose the major, it's kind of what I ended up being forced to kind of do at the end of the day, and it's fine. I did enjoy some of the classes. There are some things that I learned that really like changed my like life, I feel. And what those courses are, like, I couldn't tell you. I can't fucking recall anything these days. But again, I always knew that I wanted a job that paid me well enough out of college, and I feel like after like not knowing that I wasn't going to be an actuary, I wonder if they can hear you chomping on your chips.
Can you hear me chomping?
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna hear you.
Okay, the thing is though, is that this specific bag of hot Cheetos, like this size of bag,
They're extra crunchy.
got me fucking through everything, dude. Like this bag of hot Cheetos that I would get from the vending machines, like
True.
it was a freaking therapy bag or something like that.
Real.
Like, so you guys are getting the full experience of me sitting in this class, literally in this fucking lecture hall, and munching on a bag of hot Cheetos.
Oh my gosh. Fucking Dan. They're nostalgic. They're a nostalgic snack, not only to early high school days for breakfast, but also getting you through college, and also being the cause of why I gained so much weight during school. It was insane. Basically, I forgot where I was at.
Your career.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I knew that I always wanted to get like get into a career path that can lead me to be like financially stable. And after being an actuary, I kind of like got really into my personal like financial literacy journey. And at that time, I felt really inspired because I always wanted people around me to also be financially literate, and realizing like there are so many things that we probably aren't taught because like our parents, like they're new. Like if you're a first gen in this country, like your parents obviously don't know how the systems really work and things like that. Like some people didn't know how credit worked. I obviously didn't either until maybe my 3rd year and things like that. So when I got into that was when I was like, oh, I want to be a financial planner. But then that was like bullshit. I didn't want to do it anymore. And I I ended up landing upon a job in underwriting when I was just like job searching, literally praying, hoping that anything like would come to me, you know. And underwriting I had heard about before. Not many people have. It's not really that well known, I feel like, because most people that I talk to like don't know what I'm talking about. But when I saw it, I was like, when I was like into actuarial science or whatever, I had read about careers in underwriting because they go hand in hand. Basically, like underwriters also work, they could work for like a mortgage company or they can work for like an insurance company, and basically they underwrite risks. They make sure that the risks that they're taking on, like the clients that they're writing policies for, like they're gonna result in like profitable business, like they're not gonna result in a loss and things like that. So like actuaries decide the rates and then underwriters decide the risks that they'll take on. So yeah, I ended up getting a job in underwriting for commercial properties, and that's kind of where I'm at now. So despite hating basically everything in college, like my whole time here, I also felt, it's like crazy, like I also felt like I regretted every single day that I was here because I felt like I wasn't doing what I wanted to do or what I thought I was gonna end up doing. I guess it ended up working out. Like, I don't absolutely hate my job. I think anybody would hate just working in general. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, I think whether I was in this career or not, if I was in another one, I probably would hate it too, because I feel like I didn't know what I wanted to do. But it's been very stable, and there's a lot of career progression, I feel like, that can happen. And I'm like satisfied. Like,
see, you got where you wanted to be.
yeah, like I ended up getting to having a stable career, and I feel like that's what most first gen students can hope for, you know.
Yeah,
like seeing your parents, like, or my dad at least, like he breaking his back like in laborious jobs and like not having the opportunity to, you know, like have a 401k or anything like that. Like I feel so grateful to be in the position that I am now, but it's taken me a while to become like aware of the position that I'm in because I was so ashamed of feeling like I failed at college.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
I totally get you. But I mean, you are where you want to be now, so like that's at the end of the day, that's what's important.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like those long years
Dude.
of like struggle and tears like got you to where you need to be.
I cried so much at the school. Like
Same.
I cried at maybe 5 different libraries. I was just always crying. Like I'm a fucking crier, and the public humiliation like did not stop me from doing it. I feel like it's common.
Dude, literally, I saw you write that in the doc, and then I started thinking like, okay, yeah, because I would also cry in libraries too. But tell me why I was crying in classes.
Whoa.
Like, I thought about that, and I was like, oh my god.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude.
Get that
like,
girl to therapy.
Multiple classes. Like, I could probably name 3 right now.
Holy shit. But
I won't.
Yeah. That's kind of where my overall outlook on whatever. And to answer the question on return of investment of the degree, it wasn't necessarily sociology that got me the return on investment. I think it was the experience that I had in college. I feel like what college really taught me was how to navigate, period. Like how to navigate spaces that you might not feel comfortable in, spaces that are like brand new to you, like obviously like working in like an office and stuff like that. Like that's a whole new thing. Negotiating salaries, just like the human interaction type of thing. I think that's what I really got out of college, and that's what I always say. I feel like it taught me how to become an adult. Like I feel like it set me up to be successful in that way. So that's where I'm at. I don't know if I should talk about my extracurriculars. I mentioned Brew Actuarial Society. I also joined Hermanas Unidas, which is like a great like a nonprofit org where we focus on empowering women in higher education and like being the support system for them. And like being the home away from home was literally like one of our like mottos. We focus on like academics.
Liz was on the board, so
yeah,
she's educated to make this statement.
I ended up being the treasurer. Like I said, I've always been in that like desire to be like monetarily involved in some way, shape, or form. And after being the treasurer for that, I learned about this other org. It was called the Undergraduate Student...
USAC?
Yeah, USAC, the USAC. It was Undergraduate Student Association Council, something like that. USAC. If you went to UCLA, you know what I'm talking about. And I was a travel grant mini fund. I don't even remember I was the director of finance is what they called it, because basically like I would accept applications and like approve people for funding for their clubs. And I learned about it because Hermanas Unidas, because I was the treasurer, like I would submit proposals for funding so that we can have events and stuff like that. And then I became the person that approves those events, because I was like,
the
I have
head honcho.
I was like, I have to get into that. And then I also mentioned that I worked here a lot. I worked for the housing department. At first, I was just kind of like a housing safety ambassador, and then I ended up becoming a supervisor while I was there too. I think that's everything. There's obviously like a bunch of other little things that I tried, but nothing that really stuck.
Those are like the ones that you were heavily involved in.
Yeah, because I think I did like poetry at some point. I did like Japanese drumming. I tried trying out for dance clubs, like things like that. Like kind of first year just trying everything and then seeing what I actually wanted to dedicate my time towards. But yeah, wow, I feel like I let it all out. Like I feel like I let out my deepest, darkest secrets type thing, because I'm telling you, this is something I wouldn't talk about because I felt so ashamed of it for so long.
I feel like I was too, especially like because, being a first gen child, first gen student, like I feel like your parents and you also expect so much from yourself.
Yeah.
That it's like kind of just like hard to come to terms with it. But I'm like I said, like I had accepted it like right after college.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, the thing is, like, it's so true. I think for me, it's going back to the fact that comparison is the thief of joy. And being first gen, the expectations you have of yourself, you're comparing yourself to people who have generations and generations of family members who have already been to college, and they know how to navigate these like spaces, and like they know what to get out of their college experience. They might even have jobs already lined up for them at companies that like their family members like work at and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's so crazy like how different the experience is, because like I speak to people who I've met that also went to UCLA, but like I didn't meet them here. I met them in another place, because like we live in LA. Like a lot of people went to UCLA.
Yeah.
Or at least a lot of people I've met, and like they're not first gen. They have families who like went to college and like went to pretty good colleges. Mm-hmm. Even the way they speak about college is completely different. Their attitude about it is completely different. Like it is just so insane. It's so insane to me.
Yeah. Crazy.
Like it doesn't even. I don't know. I'm just like, whoa, this is a whole other world that like.
Yeah, like you can't relate.
I can't. Like I literally can't.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys, I think that kind of sums it up, right, Dan?
Yeah. So let's get into a little bit more lighter
topics, because I feel so heavy right now. Oh my God, guys! Like I feel like I just trauma dumped on you. I'm so sorry. Like that is not what I meant to do.
Let's get into our would you rather question.
Okay.
Which is on topic for being a Bruin. Okay, Liz, would you rather be Joe or Josie Bruin in the whole mascot costume in 100-degree weather on Bruin Walk? Or would you rather be the person next to her giving out flyers, but the thing is that everyone is ignoring you, just dying to get to their classes in 100-degree weather?
Ew. I'm sure they have some regulations that you can't be in that suit when it's 100 degrees. I would hope, like just for Joe Bruin and Josie Bruin. Oh God. I feel like as much as I would feel like a fool and like disgusting in that suit, a big part of me, like I said before, fucking hates rejection. And I don't think I can go through the humiliation that comes with being on Bruin Walk and like having everybody like walk past you. But it could be good exposure therapy. But I'm not there yet, so I'm gonna pick the nasty suit. What about you?
I'm gonna pick the nasty suit because I feel like people love seeing Joe Bruin.
And you like to dress up.
And I like to dress up. I've actually gotten a picture with Josie and Joe Bruin one time.
Wait, me too. Not both of them, just one of them. That's funny. Where? At a basketball game or something?
No, at an event. It was like, I think it was like a fucking mental health event or some shit like that. I don't know. Something like that. Is that considered an extracurricular, like mental health services on campus? Okay, we chose Joe Bruin.
Yeah.
Joe and Josie Bruin. We could be one. You want to be Josie?
I'll be Joe. I feel
I'll
like
be
his suit is
Josie.
probably bigger.
Okay, and then
Screen
on to...
time.
Is it screen? Oh, yeah, it is
Oh
screen
no,
time.
comments, right?
No, comments last.
Okay, comments last. Save the best for last.
Okay, Liz, I'll do mine first. And preface, this was not a good week for me. I feel like my screen time fucking shot up. But the reason why is because I didn't
Said
want...
current events.
The reason why is because I didn't want Liz to feel alone and having a super high screen time.
Thank you, Dan. You know what? I really fucking appreciate your service. Like, you have no idea how good it feels to have my comrade in combat with me.
No, what the actual reason is because I am no longer employed, but it isn't as high as I thought it would be, Liz.
What
I thought
is
it was
it?
going to be 7 or 6 hours.
You're still gonna shit on me? What is it? What is it?
It's 4 hours and 22 minutes.
Fuck you.
But it's 15% up from last week.
Okay, that's a significant increase.
Yeah, and then let's see Liz's.
Okay, what was mine? Jump fucking scare earlier when I checked it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm 6% up from last week, and I'm up at 8 hours and 31 minutes.
We're both up, baby.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say for myself. I think, it's actually more embarrassing now because I stopped editing like my YouTube videos and stuff like that. Wait, low key though, I think it could also have to do with the fact that we're filming on my phone. No?
Yeah, I think it does, and also because also what people don't take into account is like you using your maps or you using like people do not take that into account, like
Okay.
calls and FaceTime and stuff like that. People don't take that into account, but that goes into your screen time.
If that's the case, guys, my screen time is only like 4 hours. I promise, I'm normal.
We're at the same level, Liz.
Okay, comments.
Okay, comments. First one, we're gonna give a shout out to Daphne Levitt 8328.
My bae.
Thank you so much for commenting. We fucking love you.
Love you so much.
And then Aiden Claren, he commented, "I love this," and guess what? We love you.
Wow, thank you so much.
And your comment.
Yeah, I responded. Illy.
Toby Vargas 1754.
Okay.
Thank you so much for commenting.
We appreciate your service.
And you also commented and completed your entire assignment. You commented and then you responded to 2 other.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. You definitely have an A+ in the class.
Yeah, everybody else take notes because you're slacking a little bit. Like, you're doing your job, but you're not doing it 100%,
Exactly. Like, you're only getting half credit, you guys. Why would you want to half-ass something when it's
When you can
so
full
easy?
ass it.
Exactly. And then thank you to Angel Barrios 2882. Your comment on rejection was a little alarming. He said, "I always thought that if you get rejected, you're just not good enough." Sir, that was the antithesis of what we said
Yeah.
in our podcast.
Rewatch the episode, please.
And that was it, you guys. Thank you so much.
We'll see you guys next week. And
Have a good week.
yeah, have a great fucking week.
We'll see you then.
We appreciate you. We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.